Testing. All right, guys, my headset isn't going to be working today, so we'll just go ahead and get started. I'm sorry if the sound quality isn't so great. We might get some chirping birds in here. Okay, so this is our first video for this class, and I just want to talk to you about four things: how to point a spreadsheet to a cell, how to freeze a cell, which I'll explain in a minute, how to use formulas, and how to iterate a formula. So let's say, so just kind of in the abstract, well, let's use a real example. Let's use a real simple example so we can track it back. Say I have 25, and these are going to be yards cubed. Okay. I would like to see these in feet cubed. Drag this. So another little detail, right? If I actually want this one more over, when I drag over with the hand, there it goes. So I've got number, unit, then there'll be a number here with the unit following. So how do I convert from yards to feet? Well, for each yard, I'll multiply by 3. So in total, I'll multiply by 27, 3 cubed. So yeah, so let's first we'll do cell pointing. So I start with the equal sign, and I click on the cell I want to point to. And then I just multiply by 27. And there we have it. Okay, but say instead of doing this, what if I wanted the conversion factor here? So I'm going to rewrite this. So what I did there was click on this cell. If I start typing, it just overwrites it, right? So let me get that back. If I double click on the cell, it gives me my cursor back, right? So I'm going to make this feet cubed per yard cubed. And that is indeed 27, right? So now this cell is my conversion factor. So what if I had a bunch of yard measurements here, like 15, 8.5, 3, what else? Get rid of this unit for now. So down here, so this is in, so now I've got a different kind of setup. I've got yard cubed here, and I want to convert that to feet cubed over here, right? Well, I can use this conversion factor cell, and it'll work like this. Again, equal sign. So we're kind of cell pointing here, and we're going to freeze this cell, and we're going to iterate it. So lots of things happening here. So here's my conversion factor. I want to multiply by that number. So first brush, I'm just going to take, so click on this cell. That gets me D2. So that's my number of yards. Multiply that by my conversion factor. We get the same answer we did before. Now, I can iterate a formula down a column. And what this will do, I'll just show you. So this one started out with D2 and F2. D2 multiplied by F2. Now this one is D3 times F3, but there's nothing in F3, right? So I do want it, so you see, if you write a formula here, it will go down the rows as you drag this down the rows, right? That's what I want over here. I want to convert each one of these cubic yard measurements into cubic feet measurements. But here I just want to keep multiplying by the same conversion factor, right? So I'm going to go back to this cell, and I'm going to put some dollar signs in. And this means always use F2. Don't change the column, don't change the row when you iterate. So if I repeat this, and so I can drag down, and it works. You can see that it works. But if I wanted to be a little cleverer, so what I do is I hover over here till I get the plus sign, and then I'm going to double click. And it'll repeat it for as long as there's like a neighbor column going down. Excuse me. Okay, so what did we do there? If I want to point to a cell, I write an equals, and then I click on that cell, right? If I want to freeze a cell, like in this situation where I always want to multiply by F2, just throw dollar signs in front of each address number, right? So there's two things that identify a cell, the column, which is the A's and B's, and the row, which is numbered. Don't think I actually said that out loud. Okay, so believe it or not, that's basically all I want us to be able to do with Excel. Um, so what does it look like when I iterate a formula? Say I've deposited $10 in an account. So deposit $10. My interests. My interests are Star Trek and music. No, my interest is 5%. I'm going to write like this. And reading the personal finance document, you'll see some of where I'm getting this information. And so I'm just going to gain 5% per month. We're going to start simply like that. So this is how you'd run a finance document, right? Here's my balance. Here's my interest earned. And here's my hey, that's all I need for simple interest. So we're just talking about iterating a formula. That's all I'm going to do here. So the first thing I need to do is get my interest earned, right? And on the first payment, that's going to deal with these numbers, right? So my first balance is 10, and I'm actually going to do a new balance column here so we can see what's going on, right? What is the interest I'm going to earn? It's the formula, right? I need 5% of $10, right? So click on this cell, multiply by this cell, right? Now this is another situation where I want to always gain interest on my current balance, but I always want to increase it by the same interest rate, right? So I'm just going to go in here, $sign, $sign. Bingo. Um, yeah, so then my new balance, right? There's two ways to do this. I'm going to do the simple way. So I'm going to click here, shift equals for a plus sign, then click here, right? So that'll add my two cells together. So that's my new balance after getting interest, right? That's one way to do it. But there are a bunch of formulas built into Google Sheets. So I'm going to write one, sum of this cell and this cell. So I'm separating it with columns. It's almost like function notation, which we'll get into in a little bit. And it does the same thing. Okay. So now I have this cell that adds these two together. I have this cell that computes the interest on the current balance. So now I just need to lather, rinse, and repeat, right? And the trick for this is to come down on the second line of a spreadsheet. And often the real formulas happen in the second line. And what do I need to do? I just need to grab my new balance, which is now my, so current balance, add interest. Now this is my new current balance, right? 1050. What does this cell need to do? Oh, same thing that cell needs to do, right? So I'm just going to hit that plus sign, drag it down. There we go. A little more interest this time. This cell, it's just adding, it's going to add these two up. But you notice if I drag it down, so this one's adding the 12 row together, right? This one's now adding the 13 row together. See, it's going down the rows as I drag that plus sign down. So take it down another row, take it down another row, take it down another row. A little tedious. Let's speed it up. Highlight 3 rows at once and drag down. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. All right. You guys see that, right? So I've accidentally hit something here. We're just going to hit Control Z. Control Z. Did not work. Okay, that's fine. Here's my formulas. Drag them down again. Boom. Everything's fixed. Excuse me. So I hope this was a helpful short video on how to just kind of drive a spreadsheet document. In the next one, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to set these guys up for the finance formulas. And then, well, from there, I'll give you a quiz. So make sure to watch to the end of the next video because that's where the quiz assignment's going to be. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Email me if you have any questions, and I hope you have a wonderful virtual class.